I'm your host, Almaruthe. And if you're new, go ahead and click that subscribe and like button and let's share. Let's get this channel popping and let's dive right in. So I want to start with, as promised, the quote of the day, which is, keep smiling. It makes people wonder what you've been up to. So that's my favorite quote because firstly, I love to smile. It's contagious, and there's a lot of people out there in the world, especially us Black folks. We don't necessarily get encouraged to smile, and I want us to continue to do so. We have lots to smile about because the future is bright and we are wonderful people. We bring a lot of smile and joy to the world, so we deserve to smile too. So with that said, let's go on into the cultural topic of the day, which is within Yoruba, the Yoruba people of Nigeria, the traditional wear, I want to break it down to you what is what. So usually you'll see in Africa, the women wearing these head wraps, these blouses, these wrappers, and the men usually wearing like these caps, long shirts with pants and such. So they have names. The women, the head wrap is called a gele, the blouse is called the iro, and the wrapper is called a buba. And usually you'll see the women wearing like a sash also, and the men, with their whole attire is called the agbada. And within the especially in Nigeria, you have different tribes. So different tribes will wear it different ways. And I know within the Yoruba tribe, usually the women will match the gele with the buba and also their sash. So whereas within the Ijaw tribe, I've noticed that they will wear the gele and match it with their blouse. So that's pretty interesting, right? And I want to also take this time to highlight a dear friend of mine. Her name is Deja Shelby. Beautiful sister, down sister. And I'm highlighting her today because through times, especially this past year where I've just been trying to stay afloat, support myself through schooling, and there were times where I was laid off work or I was, just out of work. And she was always there, willing to give me a helping hand, connect me to a job, basically hooking me up. And I appreciate you. Thank you. Much respect. When you see her on the streets, give her nothing but respect and love. So with that said, I want to go on to our topic, which is the purpose of time. And I'm going to dive in by saying that there is an agenda for us, and that agenda is to avoid annihilation, Black people. That is the agenda. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's look into it a little closer. Black men are seen as the underdogs, and they are the most targeted in our society. Why? Because they possess the key to life. They possess the power and the ability to create babies. And our Black genes are very strong. So strong that no matter what child a Black person has or what culture or people they intertwine with, that child that they produce is going to be Black no matter what. Whereas other people from different cultures or nations can intertwine and mingle and have children and whatnot, and they can even take on each other's identity. Us Black folks, we do not have that option. We are Black on paper as we are Black on the outside. It shows strong, it shows heavy, and with that said, I want to go on to state that it's no coincidence that there is huge delays within our society. You see education being drawn out. It takes about 6 years to get a college degree these days. You see that attaining a career right out of college takes about 1 to 2 years. You see that being able to, people are prolonging having kids and starting a family till like they're, the goal being like 40 or so. It's stretching long. People don't even want to have kids anymore. And then the retirement, people aren't even thinking about retirement. And let's not even, it just goes on and on. But what I really want to say and means to that is that the less likely you are to reproduce, the less likely you are to take over the world. And that is the mission that society has for us Black individuals. They do not want our dominant traits taking over the world. Our genes are strong. They don't want us coming in and multiplying and them seeing less of themselves and us seeing more of ourselves. They do not want that. And that is why we have to recognize the agenda and get on board with the focus of avoiding annihilation of ourselves. Not give into the play of society. Let's not give into society's agenda to take over our life. Let's not do that. And I want to go in and say that the purpose of time is to help us ready for the responsibilities of protecting and providing for our families specifically that we plan to have. And for the heterosexual male who's naturally attracted to fertility, time is very important. And society wants our men to be less ready, less prepared to protect and be able to provide for their families. And time pressures us to get in line with our purpose of becoming mothers and becoming fathers. The main year that women are fertile up to is 37. After that, it becomes a lot difficult to get pregnant, and people want to just rely on technology that says, hey, put $3,000 into, this in vitro treatment. And yes, I think that's wonderful, but at the same time, we need to stop allowing society to tell us when it's time to have kids and start preparing ourselves and readying ourselves to be those providers and protectors at the time that we need to be, that Mother Nature tells us we need to be. And you men, I know you don't want to be putting out $3,000 on something that could or couldn't work. So, start trying to ready yourself and stop trying to prolong it beyond the necessary means. And let's start focusing on ascending into position, just like Nipsey Hussle's mom was saying in that clip that we've all seen. We got to learn life's lessons through the experiences that we're given. Those lessons mold us into becoming more goodly on the inside. We already look like God. We're trying to be more like Him on the inside. So and to do that really starts with envisioning and planning. If we want to get into the position to ascend to where we need to be, we need to first focus on living in our purpose. And it starts with envisioning and planning. So you don't always have to, with that step, you don't always have to have an overall goal for what you want to do or where you want to be at, but it's nice to have markers to work toward. That way at least you're moving in a direction, and that way you're at least accomplishing and getting yourself positioned for more opportunities. And those little markers could be such things as getting into a junior college or a university just to attain a college degree. It could be having an internship. It could be volunteering or doing things that would help you to become more eligible for the business requirements of the fields that you're trying to go toward or the area you're trying to go toward. So, but it also starts with you being real with yourself. It starts with that first and foremost. Be honest with yourself as far as your areas that you need to work on and what you want for you. And it also starts with sacrificing, taking the moment to look into your life and see the areas that need eliminating, such as night outs with friends or social media coming off for a couple of hours or a day or so, lessening your workload or putting on more work so that way you can meet your financial means or, attain those goals. And with that, I want to go ahead and shout out the Good Shepherd Church journaling class, which will be held this Saturday, May 4th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. A great opportunity for everyone to start learning how they can envision and plan, and even just start writing down. Starts with the step of writing. So they can definitely help you figure it out and get you mobile, get you moving toward that marker or even attaining a marker. Go ahead and allow yourself room for inspiration. So check that class out. I'll be there and I hope to see many of you there. And also I want to say that it's okay to be different. It's okay to do things that are outside of the norm of what you're accustomed to seeing. If it's helping you to grow and to strengthen your weaknesses, that is how you come to love yourself more. That is how you come to grow. Just like Zoe William was saying in one of his last shows, to be able to love yourself, it starts with strengthening your weaknesses. And we need to not be afraid to go out there, go to those museums, go to those plays, learn an instrument, support each other in doing that. A lot of times we shame each other. Oh, that's white people stuff. Oh, you weird. But you forget that we are encaged. We are encaged in our neighborhood so that we don't see a large part of what makes us us, or what makes us up. So I know that when I was younger and I did Taekwondo, it gave me large opportunities to travel. I traveled to the Philippines, to the UK, traveled to nearly all the states in the United States. And everywhere I went, I made it a point to learn about the area I was in, the history, the people, and it molded me into a well-rounded person. It molded me into a courageous person that's not afraid to try new things, because you know why? Because I know I'm going to grow. I know I'm going to learn something new that's going to make me a little wiser, a little sharper, a little more willing to attain knowledge and be able to share it. So we got to stop looking at each other as weird. We got to stop allowing our friendships to dictate what we can or cannot do, and start focusing on ourselves and our development. And I also want to say that often our first thoughts are our worst fears. And just like our last show, stepping over that line of terror, we often go to the worst possible thought in our heads because we've been so traumatized throughout the years since slavery. We really got to work on getting rid of that cowardly fear and taking on a healthy fear. That way we can be a go-getter. That way we can be more self-aware and be not gullible to society's agendas that they have for us. Not gullible to the agenda to annihilate us. So let's wake up and start taking these gems in and start applying it to our lives. And try getting a planner. I have a planner that I use every single day. I literally cannot go anywhere without it. If I don't write it down, chances are I'm not going to remember. And We have to be honest with ourselves to know that we cannot retain everything. We cannot recall everything that we learned throughout the day. It's important to get in the habit of writing stuff down, just like our ancestors wrote stuff down so that we can have the knowledge that we have now. So let's not be afraid to try. You know, the beginning is always hard, but after the beginning, it gets easier. And before you know it, you're doing amazing and incredible things. And you're actually moving in a direction. And no matter how small, no matter how great, the point is you're moving. And let's not allow society to tell us when to become protectors and providers. Let's start working on ourselves. Take these steps that I've given you and start applying it so that way you can be ready, men, to become providers for your families at the time you need to be. That way you can be ready, women, to become the protectors and the mothers that we need to be in order to raise a family at the time that we should be. We shouldn't have to wait until we're 50 and dang near to the grave. No offense, my 50-year-olds. I'm not saying you're that old, but I'm just saying. Society is going to keep working us to the bone and pushing our age of expectancy further back. We cannot allow that to happen. We need to take the reins and control of our own lives and start planning. It starts with us. It starts with the belief in you individually. So let's get out of our head and let's start applying our tools that we've been attaining through these podcasts, through live, through the classroom, through each other, and let's start empowering each other. And keep smiling. Just keep on smiling, let them dimples pop. And we're going to be okay. We're going to continue to see generation after generation thrive. You know, the generation after us will see our progress, and if we're teaching them correctly, they will further our progress. That's exactly what we want. So don't be afraid. If God created us, our genes to be strong, let them be strong, let them thrive. Maybe that's what He wants. So take these notes, my people. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning into the Chocolate Lot. And until we meet again, peace.